Hello everyone and Happy New Year! I love the new year. It's a quiet time for me with work, so I get a bit more time just to chill, actually film some videos. It's also the rainiest, greyest, most miserable day in the entire world. So forgive me for if the lighting is a bit cold. It's basically, there's nothing I can do, okay? We live in the UK, this is what we deal with. Today's 2022 roundup video is going to be all my makeup favourites. Kind of beauty, I guess, but I am going to do a separate video on my favourite skincare from 2022 because I feel like I knuckled down a few things in terms of my skincare routine that I want to be able to, you know, give a bit of time to and talk through and, you know, bore you to tears with. So today is just going to be about my makeup favourites. I'm going to put on my makeup even though I am not doing anything until going out to the cinema later. So this will be a lovely sort of my everyday makeup routine. I don't wear a huge amount, so that means that the stuff that I do use, I want it to be really good. I want it to pack a punch. I want it to do its job. I don't want to be faffing around with it. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first step in my makeup routine is always a little bit of covering of any blemishes or any even skin tone that I have. I don't tend to suffer with breakouts a lot. I am very, very lucky. My skin is very good. My skincare routine plays a big part in this. But if I do want to put anything on, I've been using the e.l.f. Camo CC cream all year. And you only need the smallest amount of this. I think when I got this, when I first got it, even though I'd watched a bunch of videos and stuff, so I don't know why I was surprised. I was surprised at how full coverage this is. So for me, it's perfect because I literally just want to dot it on a few areas. I don't want to like slather it all over my face. So I want it to cover what I need it to cover, but then blend in seamlessly with the rest of my skin. And this, dreamy. And really, really affordable as well. It's not too expensive and it lasts you an absolute age. So what I tend to do is just get the tiniest of amounts, and I mean tiny, and then just dot that where I want it. So I've got one little friend down here who is called Too Much Cheese, and then we have a little friend up here that's called Too Much Wine, and then I always like to dot a little bit in the centre of my face and then just take it under the eye area. Now I've got a little bit too much down here, so I'm just going to pop that down on there, and then I will leave it sitting on any blemishes that I want, just so that it can set a little bit more, and then I will blend it in with my fingers. Now I do use a brush, and I'll show you that in 1 second, but to be honest, I prefer doing as much of my makeup with my hands as possible. The warmth of your hands tends to make things melt in a little bit better, particularly with my eyes, because my eyes are so deep set. I have like this little bit of skin here that I have to kind of work around, and I just find like a brush will never get in to this corner like my fingers can. So obviously if you are blending it out with your hands, just make sure that you are being very, very, very gentle. Use your ring finger, not too much pressure, and just spend a bit of time on this, because the more you blend, the better your makeup will look, always. If I want to blend in these two little bits, it is a brush from e.l.f. and it is their buffing foundation brush. This has been my absolute favourite. I did have a Morphe buffing brush before, and really, really good, but a bit too dense. I didn't find that it really moulded around your face. It just kind of like hit your face. Whereas this one, because it's just got that little bit more give to it, getting in like around your nose, which is primarily where I put any kind of foundation like product, it's so much better. And then I do just take it over my eye area underneath, just to make sure that we're getting it everywhere we want to. And then I just take any excess product, which there will not There probably won't be because we've used so little, but just in case there is, just taking that everywhere else. Okay, so this area now has sort of set down a little bit. Oh, I didn't tell you what shade I had. Where have I put it? I have this in the shade Light 210. Now this is a tiny bit too dark for me really at this time of year, but only a tiny bit, so we can make it work. There we go. So that tiny little dot has done basically my entire face. Now I do very much appreciate that I only need to use a small amount. If you only put on the amount of product you actually need rather than going in with loads and then trying to, like, I don't know, it just becomes a bit of a mask. And also my skin tends to freak out. I tend to get really hot and bothered. It's like, I can't breathe, let me go. So start with a little bit, build it up. Thank me later. My next beauty favourite is sort of more of an item than the product inside itself, and this is what I was using for my mirror. This is a little vintage compact. Now, I can't remember, see if it says it. Oh, there we go, it's not going to fall out. I've done too good a job of sticking it in. It's a British brand that I have just lusted over having one of these in my handbag for a really, really long time. I will have some similar ones, links in the description box. But having a little compact in my bag is something that I basically, I've always wanted to be that woman, you know? It's just like, because on most days, all I will put on is a bit of powder. Having one of these in your handbag, which is nice and slim and pretty, is just the dream. So I have loved using this. It's just one of those little things in my life that makes me happy. And I'm not apologising for it. So, inside, oh sorry, I will blind you. I've got, now this is actually a Max Factor powder. Now, I'm not sure if Max Factor are cruelty-free. It was very limited selection. I was away with work, we were going to be on stage, I needed some powder. But I have really, really enjoyed this powder. It is a good one. And then inside I just have one of these little puff things that you can put your fingers through, dab in your powder, and away you go. So I've just been dabbing this basically in the centre of the face, because this is where, and you will notice this when I'm filming, I'm sure, this is where I get shiny. A little bit here, a little bit on basically the T-zone, and then I also just take any excess, I don't re-dip again around the eye area, and then that's it. Use as little product as you can when it comes to your base layer, and you'll find that your makeup sits and looks so much better. For bronzer, blush and eyeshadows, I have been using my Charlotte Tilbury Instant Looker palette all year. Now, I bought this a little while ago now, and it was a real, it was a real treat. Anything from Charlotte Tilbury is a real treat. This stuff is not cheap. This is the Gorgeous Glowing Beauty version. Now, they do not sell this anymore. They are limited edition every year, but they come out with a palette similar to this every year. And I would highly recommend you check them out, because inside you have got basically everything you need. You've got bronzer, a blush, a face highlight. Now, this is my only thing with this one, is that this is a highlight and not powder. That would have been the dream. But anyway, I do still use this. And then you've got, this is meant to be sort of a highlight, like a cheek topper, but I use it as an eyeshadow. It's my favourite eyeshadow. And then you've got 3 other eyeshadows at the top. I slightly ruined this little one by trying to get clever with putting setting spray on a brush and then dipped it in there. So that one's slightly ruined, which does make me sad, but for the bronzer and the blush especially have just become my go-tos. They are so pigmented. So be careful, literally, tiny little dip. And this is my Beauty Bay angled bronzer brush, and I have been loving this colour. I think it's got a tiny bit of glow to it, so it does have a little bit of shimmer, but it doesn't look shimmery on the face. You're not putting glitter on your face, because that would be horrendous. So I'm gonna look into the, you know, the Charlotte Tilbury, have they come out with like a cream one, a little bit like the Chanel blush? I really want to try that. So that's next on my list. But to be honest, because I travel so much, this has just been what I've been reaching for, because it's got everything that I need. So bit of that on the tops of the cheekbones, and then again without dipping in again, I just take this all over my face, because a little bit of bronzing makes me happy. And then for the blush, I have been using the little blush that comes in this palette. It's more of a pinky blush than I've been used to in the past. I quite often go for more sort of peachy tones, but I don't know, I've been really enjoying it lately. And then my Body Shop, my good old Body Shop blush brush. The Body Shop brushes are just some of the best that I've ever had. Now this one is old, like probably getting on for a decade old, and it is as good as the day I first opened it as a present on Christmas from my sister, and was very, very, very happy about life. But it's just a really beautiful little kind of kiss of colour. Look, you can build this up into being quite pigmented, which I do often do. In order to get this sort of, just to make sure that it's all blended in, I will go back into my little powder compact, and I've been using the Spectrum A04 brush and just dipping into that very, very lightly, only a little bit, and then just kind of blending around the edges very slightly, because I don't want this to be like a like a line, which especially bronzer I find can so easily turn into. Just making it look a tiny bit more natural. Next thing on the agenda is the eyebrows, and I mean, it's been the year of discovery when it comes to eyebrow products, but to be honest, I kind of ended up back where I started, and that is using a pomade. So one of my other favourites for the year has been the Revolution Pro Brow Pomade. I'm pretty sure, you know, give or take, that's kind of its name. But I ran out of that and I wanted to just try something different, so I went for this NYX one. Now I have this in the shade Chocolate, which wasn't a mistake exactly, but it's a little bit warm for me. So you'll probably see it does go on a little bit warm, but then I have another product which kind of neutralizes it a little bit. The thing with NYX, I do really like their products, they are very good. However, I feel like they're getting quite expensive. Like, I bought a brow pomade, some brow gel glue stuff, we'll get onto that in a second, and a pencil, and it came to like 30 quid. And I was quite surprised, if I'm being honest. That's on me, I should have looked at the prices. But I was quite surprised at how expensive it was. I used to think that NYX was a very, very affordable brand. And in comparison to some others, Charlotte Tilbury's, to name a few, it is. But I don't know, I feel like if they put their prices up, can anybody get to the bottom of this for me? But for my pomade, I use a double-ended brush. Now, I have no idea where this is from. I am so sorry. The writing is completely worn off. I have had this brush for years, but I love it because it's got a spoolie on one end and then your angled brush on the other. So, like I said, I travel a lot. I'm doing my makeup on the go a lot, and I need brushes that can do everything. So I'm not going to make you sit through me doing my eyebrows, because that would be erroneously boring for you. So, BRB. Editing Heather here. I have no idea why the quality, lighting and colour of this video changes so much at this precise moment in time. I have been trying to figure it out for ages. I hate my video editing software. If anybody knows of a better one, leave it in the comments below. Much love. Let's carry on with the eyebrows. Okay, so brow pomade on, and then if I'm feeling very high maintenance and I want to use all my brow products at the same time, I'll go in with this. Or if I'm literally just around the house at home, but I want to put some, something through my eyebrows, quick lick of mascara, and go do the food shop, whatever. I've been so impressed with this. This is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. No prizes for guessing what this is a dupe of, but it's so good. Number one, e.l.f. have raised their game on their packaging. Like, this feels really nice. It's like, it's black and sleek, it's small, and I have this in the shade Neutral Brown because obviously I do have, you know, quite a lot of blonde in my hair at the moment, but my roots are dark. The other thing I really like about this is that it does have those little buildy fibres in there. So I don't have the fullest brows in the world, although I have found that has actually improved since I stopped getting my eyebrows waxed. I basically just let them grow out a little bit more, and I'm actually really enjoying it. But if you are also somebody that has a few little, you know, patchy bits here and there, I think you'll really enjoy this. My other NYX brow product that nearly bankrupted me was the NYX Professional Makeup, the Brow Glue. This is amazing stuff. I was looking for another kind of brow sort of wax or glue, something that would just hold my brows in place. They are quite long, the hairs are quite long, but I like them like that. Like, I don't want to be trimming them because, again, we get patchy brows, we don't want that. But I wanted something that really locks them in place. Careful not to use too much of this, just because you can sort of leave a little, like, blob, horrible word, I'm so sorry, a little I can't think of any other word now. Too much product. You can leave too much product in your brow. So the next product I use is actually a brow product, and I started by using it on my eyebrows, but now I use it as an eyeliner. Because we love a multi-use product over here. This is the NYX, again, Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and I have this in blonde. I do really enjoy using this. I've just found that my combination of the pomade and then the brow gel means that I don't really need this anymore, but I do like it for those like individual little brow strokes if you want that. Because this is like a felt tip pen end, I've been really enjoying using this as an eyeliner because it's sort of, I don't know, not exactly, it's not close to my skin shade, but because it kind of matches my eyebrows, I've just found that this defines my eyes really nicely. It'll just look really, you know, natural, and it's the kind of definition where if you don't know it's there, you sort of don't even see it, but it just gives you that tiny bit more lash definition, and I think it looks really good. If you disagree, don't tell me. And it's so subtle, and particularly in person, and also once I've got mascara on, you can barely see it, but I just think it really gives you a little extra something. So that is my quick pro tip. Also, if you've got this in a darker colour, then it's a really lovely like neutral brown eyeliner. So this is honestly one of my hero products of the entire year. So for mascara, if you have been watching my channel for any length of time, you'll be sick to death of hearing me bang on about mascaras. But for me, it is the most important makeup product in my routine. If I was only allowed to choose, you know, one makeup product to take anywhere with me, it would be mascara, just because I have quite pale eyelashes, and they're very long, but I don't have a huge amount of them, and they're quite pale, so I feel like my eyes lose quite a lot of definition when I don't have mascara on. Anyway, yada yada, not important. I really like this one, and I am hailing it as my favourite of the year. It's the Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Lashes Volume 2. However, you know how mascaras take a little while to like dry out a little bit? When you first open them, they're always a bit too wet, and you kind of get them everywhere, and they don't quite work, and it's never good. Okay, I have never had a mascara, apart from the Too Faced Better Than Sex, that is probably the best straight out of the tube mascara, and my second favourite of the year, because it's my second favourite of all time. And to be quite frank, I think as I keep saying this that I'll go back to it, and then I keep trying new ones, so we'll see what happens. But it's my secondary to this. This took the longest to bed in or become easily usable of any mascara I've ever used. I have been using this, this is multiple tubes. I started using this in the summertime, roughly. I'm trying to remember when the first, I can't remember. Anyway, some point last year. And it took like nearly 3 weeks for it to actually like start being good. So then when I bought my next tube, I bought it quite a bit before I thought I'd need it. And I basically opened it, took the wand out, and then put it back in again, and then put it back in my little mug every day. To basically try and get it to dry out a little bit. So this is my favourite from the year, but it's quite a high maintenance mascara. And so if you are somebody that just needs to grab something and go, I don't know if this is the best. However, I love the effect this gives my eyelashes. But I will say a tip with this one, make sure that you are doing the wiggle at the base of your lashes before you pull it through. So wiggle it around, I mean, I do like about 5 times ish, and then draw it through. And then go along, wiggle, draw it through. Because that's how you definitely get the best, I mean, it's how you get the best volume out of any mascara. That's a tip, works for all mascaras. But this one especially, that one seems to work well for. I cannot talk to you and do my mascara at the same time. So again, BRB. If I come up a little bit closer, you can really see the difference. It's such a good amount of volume. It's giving me that volume without making it clumpy. Because I discovered I don't like clumps. I thought I did. It turns out I don't. So to finish off very quickly, we are going to do a lip, because I don't often do them on my channel. I just thought it would be fun. So in terms of lip liners and lipsticks, I have 2 combinations that I've absolutely loved this year. And the first one is the Charlotte Tilbury Bond Girl lipstick, and the combination of that with the Mi Kiss. Now this used to be called something different, but it's the one that matches this lipstick. This is probably my all year round favourite, and it's the one I'm going to put on today because we are past the festive period, very sadly. But the other combination that I basically wore non-stop throughout the entirety of December was the Gosh the Red Velvet Touch lip liner combined with the Charlotte Tilbury Red Carpet Red. Now I wanted a red that was like a true like red carpet red. I mean, it makes sense, like old Hollywood, makes your teeth look whiter, makes your eyes look bluer, all of that kind of thing red, and this is it for me. But like I said, we're going to go in with the Bond Girl combination because, like I say, it's not festive season anymore, which is very, very sad. Again, I cannot talk to you while I do this, so enjoy the time lapse. That is just the lip liner on its own, and I will be perfectly honest with you, sometimes when I've been lazy, I have literally just whacked this on and then put a gloss over the top. Bob's your uncle. But because we are trying not to be lazy today, oh, that sound, we're going to go over the top with the actual lipstick itself. Like I say, this has been a favourite of mine for a very long time. Probably 2019 I discovered this lipstick, I think. It's quite a dry formula, so if you're somebody that wants a very like juicy lip, you will have to go over the top of this with a gloss, but I'm pretty sure they do this colour in the different finishes. So go to a counter, ask them to try a few different ones on you, find the one you like. That is one of the things I will say for Charlotte Tilbury, is that they know how to do customer service. If you go to the counters, the girls there are always so helpful, so accommodating, are more than happy to like really take their time and actually talk you through things and find the one that's best for you. So yes, highly recommend. But that is the finished lip. It is quite dark, it's quite bold, but for me it's that real like, I don't know, like berry toned bright dark lip without being too like rah. You know what I mean? And that's it. That is the full face of my makeup favorites from 2022. So I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Please do give it a like if you have, and subscribe to my channel. I put out videos basically whenever I can. So if you enjoy a little bit of unpredictableness, come join the fun. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed just sitting here and chatting through my makeup with you. So I will see you guys very, very